I discovered my husband was stealing my anxiety medication to give to his mother, so I got them both arrested at her birthday dinner. I knew something was wrong when my panic attacks returned despite taking my medication every day. For years, I've managed severe anxiety with a prescribed benzodiazepine, just enough to function normally. Last month, I ran out a week early for the third time this year, and my doctor refused an early refill, suggesting I might be misusing them. I wasn't, but someone else was. The truth revealed itself during Sunday dinner at my in-laws. My mother-in-law Diane was celebrating her 60th birthday, and my husband Mark insisted we attend despite my mounting suspicions. As we arrived, I noticed how relaxed Diane seemed, unusual for a woman who typically micromanaged every family gathering into a stress festival. "You seem different today," I commented as she lazily arranged flowers. "Oh, just finally learning to enjoy life." She smiled, her pupils noticeably constricted. "Mark's been such a help with my anxiety lately." Something in her tone made me glance at Mark, who quickly changed the subject. "You are dinner." I watched them exchange looks whenever Diane mentioned feeling so much better lately. When she excused herself to the bathroom, I followed a minute later, pausing outside the door when I heard the unmistakable sound of a pill bottle. Back at the table, I noticed her demeanor shift from mellow to euphoric. As dessert arrived, Diane raised her glass, a toast to my wonderful son who takes such good care of his mother. Mark smiled nervously. "Mom, please, no, let me finish," she continued, words slightly slurred. "When my doctor cut off my anxiety medication, you stepped in like the angel you are." The table fell silent as I processed her words. My mother-in-law had been cut off by her doctor just as my husband had been stealing my medication to supply her habit. Without thinking, I reached for Mark's jacket hanging on his chair and checked the inside pocket where he always kept his essentials. There, in a small unmarked bottle, were 12 pills I recognized immediately as mine. "Are these my anxiety medications?" I asked, holding up the bottle. Mark's face drained of color. "I can explain. The ones my doctor thinks I am abusing. The ones I've been struggling without while having panic attacks at work." Diane intervened, suddenly alert. "Mark's just helping me through a rough patch. My doctor doesn't understand." "No, I don't understand," I interrupted. "I don't understand how my husband could watch me suffer while stealing the medication I need to function." Mark tried to grab the bottle. "You don't need them as badly as she does. Mom's been going through a lot, so you decided I should suffer instead?" My voice was surprisingly steady as I stood up. What happened next wasn't planned. I walked to the kitchen, found my phone, and called 911. With the family listening in shock, I reported that I'd discovered my stolen prescription medication and wanted to press charges. "You can't be serious," Mark hissed as I hung up. "They're just pills. They're controlled substances," I corrected him. "The same ones your mother was cut off from for a reason. The same ones you've been watching me struggle without." The police arrived 20 minutes later while Diane was still crying and Mark was still threatening divorce. They took statements, documented the pills, and explained that unauthorized possession and distribution of controlled substances was a felony. Both Mark and Diane were arrested that night. His family has been sending me vicious messages ever since, calling me heartless for overacting to what they call a family matter. But stealing prescription medication isn't a family matter. It's a crime that affected my health, my relationship with my doctor, and my ability to function. 3 weeks later, I am living in a hotel while divorce papers are being prepared. Mark received probation after a guilty plea while Diane is facing stiffer penalties due to her history of doctor shopping. My new therapist says what I experienced is medical gaslighting, being made to question my own symptoms while someone else controlled my treatment. Today, I picked up my prescription from a new pharmacy. The bottle has a special lock that requires my fingerprint to open my doctor's idea. As I took my proper dose for the first time in months, I felt something beyond the medication's effects. The relief of finally being believed. Some might call my actions extreme, but when someone steals your health and sanity, pill by pill, sometimes the only remedy is equally